Quiver. Cycle through and shoot one of 4 tactical arrows. Cloak, dash wire, noise, and sleep. In the Conclave, did not use no shield and slow arrows. Navigator. Assume control of a projectile and guide it to the target. Prowl. Become invisible and steal loot from unsuspecting enemies or take out prey with deadly headshots. Artemis Bow. Summon a mighty bow and unleash a volley of devastating arrows. Ooh, oh, so that the Artemis Bow we were seeing before wasn't a thing you could buy, it was an ability. Interesting. Didn't know. Loki. Desired by advanced players, Loki offers a variety of specialized reconfiguring abilities. The creative Loki's powers allows players to master battlefield through manipulation. Decoy, camouflage, teleport, and radial disarm. Okay, so it creates a copy of him to distract enemies. This camouflages him, so he's invisible to them. This teleports him with a target, confusing them, and this forces them to use melee combat. Mag. Okay, here's Mag Prime. Warframe Archive. Debrief excerpt. We sat strapped in, safeties off, waiting for the punch, waiting for death. Through my filthy porthole, I saw stars among the outlines of the other splinter ships queuing for the solar rail. It would soon grip us with an incomprehensible power and cast us into the void, through the void, into the mouth of our enemy. I watched the ships one by one bending and gone, each crammed with zero-tech soldiers sucking stale air, white-knuckling their percussion rifles, each filled with a desperation that comes from extinction. Our ship will be the last to cross the gap. Our ship had special cargo. It was essentially empty, just 10 men, like me, strapped in with the best zero-tech suits and weapons the Empire could. And it stood in the aisle, a slender, eyeless metal form, a Tenno inside its warframe, vaguely human, vaguely feminine. Was this armor, or some ornate carapace for a monster that lived inside? I strained against the harness as the ship yawed for the final approach. I could see the Tenno standing there freely, solemn and gold gleaming, all oblivious to the inertial force. I had been, until then, a Tenno denier. They were ghosts, propaganda, twisted casualties of the void era, not possibly real. Yet it was here in the flesh. The Empire, in their desperation, was going to turn the demons loose and hope for the best. Who did we fear more, the enemy or this monster? We had our safeties off. Could we trust it? It didn't matter anymore. The punch came, and our windows became blinding. When we could see again, our ship was somewhere else, shattered and dead in an instant. My lungs flattened, my eyes full of death. Ship debris glittered like a night's snow. The alien blue star was dark and blinding beyond us. The countless articulating worm ship. Sorry, I can't read. I'm getting distracted. My lungs were flattened, eyes full of death. Ship debris glittered like a night snow. The alien blue star was dark and blinding beyond us. Then the countless articulating worm ships of our enemy, ringed in glowing discs, undulating and heat bursting. The surviving soldiers like me. This is where I died. I was caught in our disc, sweeping over my right side and setting my blood on fire. My vision flattened, the hearing muffled and buzzed. I could feel the side of my face going slack and wet. I was in a dying dream. I saw a bright spot blurring and weaving towards me. I felt a tug towards the metal clasps on my suit. It reached me, rising up. A gleaming metal beast, a plume of golden wings rising and unfolding behind it. An angel. It snatched me from my death. I could feel my lungs fill as it wrapped me in its wings. Its void shield shimmered blue, strained under the enemy's beams. I felt a sudden tug of acceleration. I closed my eyes and held on like a child. I woke on the floor, the sting of clasping flesh on my face and side. It was standing over me, the wings gone. I heard the clacking of weapons echoing down the corridor. Maybe the mission would be saved, but I was dying, and so I waved my hand to send it away. I felt a pistol thrust to my hand as I was heaved to my feet. The angel had saved me, pulled me from hell, but it would not pity me. I was to die on my feet, by its side. I turned my good side towards the gunfire, and raised the gun. It nodded, its outstretched metal hand surging and pulsing in ancient shapes as blue shimmered around me. It turned, drawing its blade, and together we surged headlong into the hailstorm of death and fire that awaited us. That's actually pretty badass, actually. That's actually pretty badass. Ooh, Mesa, Gunslinger. Ballistic battery. When activated, this power stores damage caused by guns. When triggered again, that damage is channeled through the next gunshot. That's nice. Store it up for an entire mission, then just unload it on one enemy. Somehow I don't think it works like that. You know, now I know what it's like, what people must feel like when they're playing that new Nier game. It's just like the game's great, but I'm distracted by the ass. Like, my god. Like I am right now. Shooting Gallery. Gives an ally extra damage while jamming the guns of nearby enemies. This power shifts between team members. Shatter Shield. Envelops Mesa in a barrier of energy, reflecting back incoming bullet damage. Peacemaker. With intense focus, Mesa draws her regulator pistols, shooting down her foes in rapid succession. Regulator. Now all I can think of is the song by Clutch again. Seriously, stop this video, go watch it. Sorry, I'm now out of cola. I think I have some down in the kitchen, I'll have to check. Either that or I'm going to have to pop down to the shop. Oh, that's fucked up. Command the infestation to mutate and grow ever more destructive. 300 armor, 150 health, and 100 power. No shooting. Virulence. Rupture the ground with a damaging fungal growth that steals energy from each enemy it strikes. For every 5 enemies hit, the infestation mutates, multiplying its destructive force. Larva. Spawns an infestation pod that erupts with tendrils. Spawns an infested pod that erupts with tendrils, latches onto nearby enemies, and pulls them in. Parasitic Link. Bind to a target with a parasitic link. For allies, both the host and Nidus deal increased damage. Linked enemies take the damage inflicted on the Nidus. Imagine attaching that to a boss. That would be nice. Just this. Since the cold bottle's empty, I can't use that to keep the cable away from my hands, so I have to find something else. Ravenous. Gluttonous maggots swarm nearby enemies, feasting until they're hit with virulence and bursting with infestation. The maggots benefit from mutation, and each enemy hit adds to the mutation stack. Oh, that's cool. Nova Prime. Nyx. She does look a little weird there. It looks kind of shit. It just makes me think of a toy figurine. Others, them, they look more cool, you know? Like here, she looks cool, or there she looks a little... Mind control and psychic attacks make Nyx a very dangerous foe. Her ability to reach into enemies' consciousness and manipulate their behavior can turn the tide of battle. Yeah, actually, that mind control is actually rather interesting. Yeah. Oberon. No. Tavia. No. Rhino. No. Rhino Prime. Red lights flashing on stark white walls. Davis is running ahead of me, dropping his notes. We're running for our lives. The fear gives me a strange perspective. I'm out of my body. I've forgotten how I got here. I don't recognize this place. Davis and I slam, pinned against the cell door, and he shouts at me. I give him a dumb look. I can't hear him. Sirens, anything. Only the muffled throb of terror in my head. I turn away from Davis down the hall, and I see it. The hulking mass, flickering red, glinting like steel and fresh blood. Its skin changes, flowing like mercury, when I'm blinded by the sudden muzzle flashes. They do no good. The beast surges forward, and security men become a crimson mist and gore. I'm a statue, a cornered animal. A gate opens inside me, and recognition floods in. I've seen this monster before. I've cut its shell and eviscerated its brothers. I've given it pain and measured its response. I have crafted and then rejected countless like it. But I've never seen this beast so close, without the shield, without the restraints. I've never seen it free. I know I will die, so I just watch with curious acceptance. The beast squats down, shoving a heap of gore into its mouth. It is watching me with vague eyes, sense of recognition, ancestral memory. It rears up like a bear and roars, shattering the lights and casting us into darkness. I hear it lumbering towards me, its metal fingers rending the walls, but I know I am dead. I close my eyes and stand ready to pay. I feel the pull on my arm, realize Davis got the cell open. He tugs me into the cell beyond, and I fall on my back. I see Davis standing at the open door, waiting, as the monster tears towards us. Suddenly, I could live through this, so I shout, "Davis, close the damn door. The goddamn door." But he shakes his head with eyes wide as moons. He shouts, "Watch," over the roaring and rending of metal. Then silence. Davis is panting, laughing. The beast fills the doorway, inches from him, dripping in blood, but still without violence. It stands there, looking at its hands. Davis whispers, "No one would have believed me." I crawled up the wall to stand opposite the door. I've never seen this cell. A cold place with an array of shelves. A morgue? Where are we, Davis? This is where they keep them. The ones from Zaraman. I'm thrown. What was the Zaraman? The ship that never returned? Davis, what's going on? Davis turns to me, a smile forming. This, what's going on is... He turns back to the beast, now silent and calm. Big, fat promotions. This is actually kind of interesting, actually, I have to say. I actually really like this. No, wait. Her venomous attacks are horrifying effective against organic and synthetic enemies, and her ability to shed her skin makes her very elusive. Decoy spreads viral damage via spores. Well, infects the target, then destroying the spore will spread to nearby enemies. Toxic Lash, when active melee attacks, bursts spores, causing them to spread to nearby enemies. And Miasma, she pollutes the atmosphere with a lethally poisonous mist that grows all enemies in range. Deals additional damage to enemies under toxin and viral effects. Nice. Sharon Prime. No. 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 Sadly, no, that seems to be all the little bits of lore there, which is actually rather sad, because I actually rather liked reading it there. I I really got into it. I stopped stuttering and stumbling over words. I did a little there, but I really got into it. So it's a bit disappointing for it to stop. But see how this no longer has the conclave points on it, and you can see it there. That's a little holdover on the art. That's no longer done, and that's the conclave points I was referencing earlier on. That's no longer done. Here's the art gallery. Apparently I have all the corpus. Here's the infestation art. That was actually kind of pixelated towards the start. That's cool. Makes me think of Dead Space. And that makes me think of a mouth. And here's Golem, infested boss. Oh wait, that's... Oh, that's the other guy I saw. Remember from that... remember I was talking about him earlier, about these being like, not new mutations, but older ones that were there for quite a while. And actually, here's the details. Gun body, former ancient. Grenade body, former corpus spaceman. Melee body, former Grenier. And yeah, you can see that on it. Which is similar to the ancients that you've seen elsewhere. And here's the diseased ancient, now called Broodmothers. Tiny infested minions, drops out a chest cavity. These are all concept art. Plus ancient, It's now called a boiler. And infested nanocell, which I haven't seen. It's fan art, and I don't have mastery rank to view it. Oh, these are driven by mastery? Okay. So yes, this is cool. If you want to see a ton of, concept art and whatnot, you want to look there. E-hopper. Ooh, that's cool. It took me a moment to realize what was going on. For a moment I thought that they were sitting on their back and for a piggyback ride. That's what I saw. So yeah, it was a bit different. You know what? Let's have a quick look over here. I won't be grabbing on right now, but primary weapons. What's this? Oh, nice. It's an Arcwing gun, and we've seen that before. That barrel, I think. It's a mission reward thing. Boar, shoddy, right? Yes, it is. Interesting little detail. Wrecking Rhino pack. Doesn't do that bad damage. Sadly, I can only get it via paying money for it. Actually, no, there might be a way of getting it outside that, but I certainly can't buy it off the marketplace. Let's look it up. Warframe. Boa. It's a 10-0 automatic shotgun. Compared to other things, it has less accuracy and less damage per pellet, but has the widest shot cone. It's dropped directly from. It's dropped from Dekar troopers, and you find them on particular tile sets. Orikin Moon. As well as greener asteroids, galleons, and shipyards. Though I don't know what level they turn up at. And actually, sorry, those were just normal lancers or normal troopers. But I have no idea what when the car troopers turn up. It's interesting, but it apparently is quite ammo inefficient and whatnot, so I'll be a little hesitant in using it. Maybe we'll see about getting a different one. This looks nice. I like the it's classy. It's a classy gun. It's a part of the Nyx pack. I probably will end up spending money on this game at some stage, but I want to draw that out because I don't have the money to piss around. I could give that gun a go. Yeah. Braton. Makes me think there was like Russian slang, or well, it makes me think of a guy from Human Revolution in the Missing Link DLC. He refers to Jensen as Breton. So yeah. Oh wait, I can just buy that for credits? Just straight up just buy it? Okay. Is there a way to limit it? No. I can have it blueprints only and hide owned, but I can't do it so it's only stuff I can pay for with money. Non-IRL money. Okay, you know what? Blueprints only. What's here that I can get? Heck. Oh, filthy language. It's a powerful shotgun that fires its shots with a tight spread, making it efficient at medium range as long as its strong recoil is properly managed. And I could make that, though it will cost me 50 grand effectively to make. 50 grand, 25 to buy it, 25 to make it. So not anytime soon. This is more looking ahead for the extra mastery points. And there's a Grakata. Equipped with a huge magazine and impressive rate of fire, the Grakata is the preferred weapon of Grineer Lancers. Well, if they have a uniform, I doubt they have very much choice in the matter.